Hi, my name is Wagion Joroge. Welcome to Journey with God, where we share, or I share, the testimonies that of the things that God has done to me. Some were through some situations that were not really fun, but some were good. And every day you get to learn. And through the few decades that I've been here, yes, decades, not one, not two, yes, that I've been here, a lot has happened. And I saw, and through the help of God, through everything that He has been doing over my life, I saw it good to come and share with you, And so on my social media pages, I've been sharing something about Women of the Bible series. And mostly I've been active, I think. I tried this year to be active on TikTok and Facebook, and I've been active, yes, on IG. So either once a week. Okay, my active is probably once in a week I'm going to post something. And for a few weeks now, I've been sharing about the women of the Bible. Though I had shared some years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and I saw it good for me to revamp or add more details about the women I'm sharing, and even through the research probably that I've done over the years, and even as how God has been leading me and helping me. So, the last women that I shared were the women of the Bible. Were 3 women, and these 3 women, an injustice happened to them. And this injustice was that they were sexually violated, And I know most of us, when we hear about sexual violation, we shun from the story, we shun from the idea. And actually, a large percentage of people, in one way or the other, they have faced, they have been either they have been molested, sexually violated, either physically or verbally. And I don't know where you have found yourself, but anyway, if even you have never found yourself, maybe you have had. And even if you have never had, today I'm going to share with you. So if you'll be interested in something of this sort, if you'll be interested to hear more and to know if actually Bible records something of this sort, welcome aboard, welcome. Caribbean customer. Anyway, come close, like this video, share with your friends, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We need to grow. let's get to those subscribers that people keep on saying. Let's get to 1,000, let's get to 20K, let's get to 30K. Anyway, as even as God help us. So the story of sexual violation. So this will be Journey with God about the 3 women, but on sexual violation. I think I'm going to say that, and I'm hoping even as I'll be sharing, you're going to learn. And even as I'm going to sharing, you will, mostly you're going to learn. You're going to get the healing that you have been desiring to have. If you have this thing has ever happened to you, or has happened to your child or someone close to you. It can be even your sister or your brother, because actually these things don't only happen to women, it actually also happens to men. I shared, I don't know where, yes, I once shared that about my story, what really happened to me when I was younger. And when I shared, men also reached out to me. And they told me this happened to me. This happened to me. That happened to me. And it's very unfortunate that the people that we thought that can protect us, they don't actually protect us. It's very unfortunate. And to know that this thing has not started now. It started way back. Way back. Because the Bible that I'm reading right now, I'm doing the Expositor's Bible. And on the title it has been written 1739 BC. So it was 1739 years ago before Christ. Before even Christ came, 1700s of years then, a story happened to one woman. So it's not something new in the world. It's something that has kept on happening. And we have seen most of the time, we have shut our ears to hear about it, or we have shunned from doing anything about it. I don't know where you're standing at. I don't know if there's something that you're going to do about it. But my prayer is that you will not stand in the face of injustice. You will not shun away in the face of injustice and not bring the justice that is supposed to happen. You know, if you have the power, let's say maybe you're serving where you can serve justice. Maybe you are a lawyer, maybe you are a judge. You're not going to shun from this. You're actually going to bring justice. If you're a witness, you be ready to speak out and voice out. If you're someone that God has given you the mouth to speak for the hopeless and the helpless, you'll be able to do this, you know, because there's a lot. Because the story I'm reading, right, the first story I'm going to share is in Genesis 34. In Genesis 34, we found a lady called Dinah. Dinah was the half-sister. Dinah was the daughter of Leah. And the daughter Leah and Jacob. And Dinah, we are told, she went out to see the daughters of the land. But when she was going, Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, and he took her and lay with her and defiled her. You know, my thinking is that not even he's called a prince of he's already called the prince of the country. Wherever this lady was going, innocently going, just going, minding her own business. And now you find what? This man, because later on you see that he claims that he loved the lady and he wanted to marry her. After he defiled her, he wanted to marry her. And I'm like, what kind of stupidity is this? Or what kind of evil is this? And you know, when the father of Dinah had, he did not do much. He just kept quiet. Yes, it's probably, you don't know why. We don't know why he had to keep quiet, but they have the brothers of Dinah, that is this man called, I'm looking for I don't want to mistake the name. The brother, I'm looking for the name because I'm forgetting. Most of the case, I'm forgetting and wanting to twist with Absalom, but Absalom is not in this story. Then Saul, Dinah, Hamor, Shechem, Hamor, because he was killed. This guy was killed. A revenge was done by the brothers. There were men in Hamor, come in the city. and Hamor and Shechem. That day they were so Levi. Okay. And it came to pass on the that day when these were saw the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took each man his sword and came to the city boldly and killed all men. And they killed Hamor and Shechem, his son, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of the Shechem's house and went out. The sons of Jacob came out, the slain, and spoiled the city, and because they had defiled their sister. So, we don't justify what happened to, like how Levi and Simeon went and did to these guys. They killed them. They lied to them that for them to take over Dinah, what they had to do is get circumcised. And when you get circumcised, you're at a vulnerable place because you need to have to heal and everything. So they were weak. And what the guys came and did is kill them. And they killed all the men and took over the spoils. So these were men who are not even poor, like Shechem and Hamor. They were not poor. They had money. They had everything that they did. But anyway, they did not have dignity. They did not have integrity. They did not have honor, because why would you go and rape someone and later on defile someone and later on that you want to marry them? It doesn't make any sense. But I would encourage you not to be one who holds back when you see an injustice, but be the person who speaks out when an injustice is done. Be someone who, you're not going to do the wrong thing. You need to take the right path that needs to be taken of justice for justice to be done. And the next woman we are going to go to is in Judges 19. So in Judges 19, we find this Levite. A Levite, what we get to know is that is a man, they are men who served in the, what do you call them? In the house of God. For me, in my thinking, a Levite is someone who is supposed to be of good moral standard. You have to be a man who have integrity. But you are told this Levite goes to this city, takes a concubine. After taking a concubine, they go to this city. They are not accepted. Somehow, there is no one who is ready to open their doors for them to to lodge in their houses. Even as I was reading, I realized that in those days, there were not many lodgings. So most of the time, what happened is that people would open their doors so that someone to come in their place and sleep. And I think we find this in most of the stories, that even Elijah, when with the is it the Shulamite or someone, and when he was coming to this city, what the lady decided to do is that open her door and build a house for Elijah so that he can be able to come and lodge when he's coming to this place. So most of the time you're not finding hotels or lodges during those days, during those whatever hundreds, thousands of BCs before Christ. There were not many. So when they got to this city, there's no one ready to take over to accept them in their house. But when they stayed, an old man come and passes by, and when he's passing by, he's like, you cannot sleep here, guys, because it will not be safe for you, so come over to my house. And they go over there, and when they go, we learn that these men, they are called the Gibeonites. These men, they realized there was someone lodging in this old man's house, and when they came there, they started demanding for this Levite. They wanted to, they wanted the Levite. They actually did not want the lady. They wanted the Levite. And when they wanted the Levite, the old man said, no, you cannot do this to him. Why not take my daughter who is a virgin? And they continue insisting. So what the man, the Levite, I believe so, what he did, he took the concubine and threw her out of that place. And you know what happened to the lady? She was gang raped. And in the morning, when she's worn out and everything has happened to her, she decided go back to the old man's house. And when she went there, even she wasn't able, the door had not been open, and she fell down and died. And then after that, she's cut into pieces and distributed. It's a very disturbing story. When you get to listen to read through it, it's very disturbing, because even what happened after. And we go to the third story. The third story is about Tamar. This one hits home. Reason being, this is something that happens hits home, not actually like home, that I'm not saying like home kwetu, no. I mean, in terms of, this is something that happens to so many people. Tamar, I get to learn, Tamar means a palm tree, or she was beautiful. Saul, not Saul, David. Saul was he was tall, but I think David. He was a handsome man, and bore a daughter who is called Tamar. And Tamar, the description is that through her name that was given to her, it means that she was really beautiful. And Tamar had a half brother called Amnon, and we find this story in 1 Samuel 13 all the way to 20, because things happen. And Tamar, the Amnon, the brother, affects that he's sick. And when he gets to this house, what does he do? Defile the lady. After defiling, he's like, no, he gets disgusted. And he's like, no, you need to get out of this place, And later on, the brothers will come to learn, the true brothers of Tamar get to learn. The same story that happened to Dinah and Levi and Simeon, they revenged and they killed. And this is actually what happened to Amnon. Absalom, when he learned that the father could not do anything, he just kept quiet. I don't know why these men are just keeping quiet. When so the father has kept quiet after like 2 years or something or so, after a few months. What he decided, he did some tricks, and he was able to kill the brother. And the same thing, the cycle. There's something about sin. Sin drags you to more sin. I don't know how can I call it. It's like a cycle. Because when this man rapes this lady, this man now is enraged with anger, and then the next thing that he's doing is to commit murder. And even for the Levite, one sin of going to just take a concubine out there, is leading to the sin of this man gang raping this lady. And what happens also, he did the unspoken to this lady, and distributes whatever he did, And when I'm saying these stories, that you have had one or the other, because the first story is about someone who seems to like this lady. Just because she's beautiful, you decide to do the worst. The guy decides to do the worst, or entices the lady and does the worst. And you have found yourself with someone who you thought loved you, and this guy drags you and does these things. The second one, you are there and maybe you're just doing your business, because probably you have found yourself here, or because of the circumstances of life, you have found yourself here, or things happened. Yeah, it's the circumstances of life. You find yourself and you're doing these things as a source of income. And what happens to you? You're given over to the enemy, and these things happen to you. I'll give a case scenario. I've had stories of people sharing that They were just doing their business. Or they found themselves, they have gone somewhere out for a party. The next thing that happened to them, their drinks are laced, and the next thing they find themselves, blood all over. They don't know what really happened to them. They passed out and things happened to them. Or else they were doing their business, but the person did something worse. I have a story of someone who confided in a guy. The guy was nice to her, but after their own agreement, and the guy did the thing, he called over friends to continue doing the thing, and the lady was defiled, gang raped. Maybe you have found yourself in that situation. The third one, you are left in the care of your brother. You are left in the care of your cousin, your uncle, your auntie, your house. Yeah, because, yeah, auntie. We can put it auntie. I have had a case. What was I listening? Was it in the newspaper or something? A mother who raped the son, molested the son. It's so unfortunate that the people that you trusted, the people that you never thought they can do anything to you, they do these things to you. And in all this situation, I don't know with which one you can relate. But with that, whichever the one that you're going to relate with, I cannot overemphasize. Justice needs to be served. Second of all, if you're in that situation and you have found yourself in this kind of situation, you need to allow God to heal this wound. Accept Him to take away this wound. It's not easy at all, because I'm going to share a story. My story is in how many parts? Being vulnerable. I was in this school, and I wasn't performing well. After I got sick, I shared this story, journey with God in sickness. And when I got sick, and the bullying that was happening, my parents didn't know. What happened is that they saw my grades were going down, so they decided the best thing is to transfer me to a new school. And on the day I was transferring, because when you transfer, if your letter is out, you need to take back the items that from that school. So the textbooks, I was supposed to return the textbooks. And when I was returning my textbooks, I remember I had been taught by this teacher. She was called Madam Faith, and also another lady was called, I'm forgetting her name, sorry, because that time I was in class 4, I think. But I remember Madam Faith had taught me, don't get in any man's house or even office, or yes, mostly office, house, especially for teachers. She was warning me about teachers. Don't get in any teacher's house or office when they are just alone, a man especially. So this day I decided to go with my friend to take these books, and even I needed help because they were not few, they were many. Since I was a bright student in this school, yes, you had the privilege of getting more books, so I had more books than the rest probably. So when I was returning, our deputy teacher, he decided to do the stupidest thing. Little did he know that I had a friend, and also I had God. I have always said I have seen God taking me through so much, and God saved me from his hands. He was ready because he had already helped me behind the door. Like how? Okay, when you enter, the door was opening from the in the inside. So when I entered, I entered, there was another door, and when I entered, the teacher was seated there, was seated, was his desk, this is the door, and the door opened inside. Then I got behind the door, then went to the other door. That's where the library, he insisted that I need to take to the library. And when I was getting into that space, what he decided to do, oh, little did I know, he closed the door. Now he was ready, because he had lifted. When I was returning, he held me so fast, like against the door, and he wanted to do the thing. But my friend had some movements, and she had to like push the door so fast, and realized there was someone else, and he just left me. We just threw the books on him and left running. Second scenario, the other one that I can remember, another teacher. This one sexually verbally violated me, but at some point he molested me. Secondary school then. And the other one, why am I forgetting? Oh yes, another one, an uncle. An uncle was planning to do this stupid thing. No one who was home. I was the only one. I was coming out from school. I found him in the house, and when he's just ready, I found him. Anyway, stupid things. I found him ready, waiting for me. I didn't know, like, you knock the door and someone says come in, and I came in, and you find the guy naked, and I was like, this is danger, God help me. I ran away. The other one, now the other one was a friend. You remember I shared a story that God warned me about not getting this kind of a relationship with someone, and I accepted. And when I accepted, this one time, I had all the signs not to be in this place. But tell me, who was I at that time? And the guy did the thing. So the reason why I'm sharing this, and no, right now I'm sharing like it's a light thing. No, it's not a light thing. I don't want, at no one point do I want to underestimate the strength or the power or whatever really happened to me. Then some years ago, I could not be able to share. It was so traumatizing that for some reason, before I went to therapy, the memory had blacked out. Like I could not remember so many things. But when even I was sharing and writing down, and even through prayer, God started bringing these memories, and he was like, I need to heal you. I need to take away the pain. And I have been sharing this story, and when was it? Last year, this sermon was being shared in church about God being a comforter. And even when I was when I was praying, and I got to this place, and as I was kneeling down, God was like, Wagio, I'm your comforter, I'm your father. I'm your comforter, I'm your father. He says he's the God of all comforts. He's the one who comforts us. Even at the lowest moment, I know comfort has been explained to us most of the time when you have lost a loved one. But you know that God comforts you even when you have lost something that is precious to you. It can not only be a friend, it can be something that you treasured. It might be your virginity. It might be your item. It might be an opportunity. There's so much that has happened to you that God desires to comfort you and help you. And when he said he's your comforter, and he took me through a memory lane, and the memory lane was on the day on the bed of where this thing happened. And the blood that was there, there's so much blood. If this thing has ever happened to you, I don't know where it happened to you. Some is on a bed, some is on a lane, on a street. Because I remember a friend shared, for her it happened on a street. And she found herself, then she even people, she was just walking, these people came over and grabbed her and did this thing to her. And a friend or an uncle. But I remember most of the cases when you hear people sharing, you don't forget. By then, for a very long time, I think with time God helps you and shuts the noises and the voices, because I remember for so long I could hear the guy speaking in my ears, laughing. Yes, all the things that he was saying when he's doing it, him shouting and doing whatever he's doing, telling me to keep quiet. I should not be I should not be talking. I need to know I'm the one who took myself there. I was not supposed to be there. What was I even doing there? And I remember even blacking, what do you call it? Yes, I had a blackout. After it happened, I had a blackout. I don't know for how many hours. But I remember when I was blacking out, the last thing I remember saying, oh, what did I do? No. Oh yes, I remember before I blacked out, what I said was that God help me. God help me. And I remember the guy fell on the side, and I also blacked out. I don't know for how long I slept there. But I remember when I woke up, I could not walk well. I had to look for my clothes to cover myself. And I remember when I went home, where I was staying, I know people could not be able to understand. I only told a friend, or even not telling the friend. He was able to sense there was something wrong, because he noticed I wasn't walking right. He noticed I wasn't doing things. There was something wrong, and I had to tell him. I went in my room and I went in the shower and cleaned myself. I cleaned myself. Then I remember I went and I slept. I was telling people I slept for about 12 hours. I blacked. After that, I slept for 12 hours or more than 12 hours, about 18 hours. No one knew whatever happened to me. They were just wondering, why am I oversleeping? But anyway, it had happened. Going to the police, they were like, I did not go to the police, because I started blaming myself the moment that I stepped into this, why I went to this place. And months later, I come to learn I wasn't the only one the guy did to me. We were many. And I had shut my mouth in terms of injustice. I could not forgive myself for years. But later on, I found my voice. And how, when I was reading the story of Dinah, I was like, why did the father keep quiet? When I read the story of Tamar, why did David keep quiet? I may not be able to know. But how I pray that if you have seen this happening around you, you won't keep quiet. You will voice out. Justice will be served. And for the person that for my case maybe, or someone who is a lawyer. Let me go that way, because we need to follow the law of the land sometimes, not to the core. No, to the core, I mean, sometimes when it's against the will of God, you have to ask the Lord how to lead you. But when you know there is a justice system somewhere, following it. But my prayer is that lawyers to do what they have to do, and the judges to do what they have to do, and not keep quiet. And if you have been voicing out, you have been speaking out, congratulations unto you. And I pray that God will strengthen you, will strengthen us, even as we speak to be the voice of the voiceless. But anyway, even as I was sharing, I was like, for years I never thought. I was sharing that I really hated men and everything. I could not be able to understand, but later on I came to understand it because of the injustices that happened to me. I kept quiet for years. Actually, even my parents came to know later, like when I was, I think last year but one. That's when I shared. But I know God continue. I say this is a journey, because I think God, sometimes there are things, yes, for me, I know there were all the signs, but this is not to take light of the thing that happened to me. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is this: I kept quiet for all this time because I could not be able to understand how to go about it, because I have not had so many people who are speaking about it. And when they're speaking about it, they're speaking of in still hurt and still angry. And I didn't want to be like that. And I wouldn't want you to be like that. I don't want you to continue walking in bitterness and in unforgiveness. First of all, it's so painful. I know it will be so hard saying I have forgiven you. It took me years to say the guy's name. Okay, for my teacher, I've never seen him, so I don't know where I can get him, because by then he was almost going to retirement, one of him. The other one, yes, to be honest, even right now I've not been able to face him or tell him, but I've been planning to talk to him, because I have on his social media, I have seen his social media page, so I was planning to go and talk to him there, because I don't have his number. The third person, my uncle, after so many years, I met him this year. It's funny. I was like, okay, are you the guy, really? For like how many years? More than 10 years, I had not seen him. But I remember after whatever he tried to do, when I met, he left home. He vacated from home, but when he could see me, when I go for family gathering, he could like disappear. But I could not understand why he was disappearing, But later on, I came to realize because whatever he was planning to do to me. For the guy, after the healing, I texted him and I told him, but I no longer has his number. But anyway, God is going to help me what to do about it after that, because I know probably I have been trying to ask around what happened, where he is, and even calling for people to get out and voice out, and justice to be served to who deserves to be served. But also there's something I have been sharing over and over, and I told people, some things that you share, you wonder, how have I done it? It's only through the help of God. I have said over and over again, it's through the help of God. And also I accepted Jesus Christ as my personal savior. He says in his word in Matthew 11 to lay our burdens unto him. Even to take up his yoke. My burden was the bitterness that I had, the unforgiveness that I had, the anger that I had, because yes, all along I've been a good girl, but there are other things that have happened to me. I have had harbored in my heart, and right now I'm at a lighter space. I was sharing, you remember the story I was sharing, I can't remember the video, but I'm going to link it up. I was sharing that there are some things you wonder, how have I forgiven? It's God who has helped me. And why could I do this? Why? Oh, I was sharing that. Even my face could read I was an angry person. I had bitterness, I had anger, I had wrath. You could see it, like every time I was a lady who was ready for violence. But right now, I'm at a better place. The violence that I want to do is through prayer. The only way that I want to do is through prayer. And even being able to do the right thing, not to feel like you want to do something. No, not now. But anyway, I pray that you. Oh, the other thing is, I've kept on repeating this word. He heals the brokenhearted and forgives their and binds their wounds. In Psalms 147 verse 3, you have to remember this. There is no other way. True healing comes from God. And also he says, by his stripes we are healed. Do you know the healing that happened at Calvary? It was not only of the forgiveness of our sins. No, it was also the forgiveness of our. It was also through healing. The healing. Oh, the other thing we receive is not only salvation, but also healing. You also need that healing. The healing of God to come over you and take away every impurity, to take away every bitterness, to take away every anger. I'm not telling you to start being friends with these guys. No, for someone who is a pedophile, someone who is a rapist, someone who is this stupid, please, I'm not telling you to be friends with them. No, I'm just telling you to let them go. Forgive them. Let it go. Let it go. Allow God to minister to you. Allow God to come inside of you and bring the healing that he needs to bring the restoration that he needs to bring. And if you have been blaming yourself, if maybe you have been in my situation where God, by the way, let me tell you, that day, you know how God, he says in his word in Amos that he tells his servants secrets. For me, I have seen him revealing secrets to me, and he had revealed this secret. There was a way I knew I was walking. There was something that was wrong happening, that was about to happen, but I could not read the sign. I had closed my eyes to see the signs. I don't know if you have seen this trending that God, when you're asking God, is this the way to go? If it's your will, tell me to. If it's not your will for me to go to this place, tell me. Like, let there be a sign. And you see a stop sign, ja. And you continue. And you're like, Apana isi Mungu. Then you are hit by maybe a pole or something. And you're like, no, this is not God. Maybe rain starts falling. Do you know what happened to me that day? A friend came to me and told me, stop going to that place. Then cat and dogs rained. It was like, don't go. I still went. Then what happened? There were so many signs telling me stop. But who was I? Maybe you're in that situation. God had shown you a sign, stop going that way, but you still went. Now you're blaming yourself. Stop blaming yourself. God is a forgiver of sins. He has already forgiven you. If you have not had this thing being told to you, I'm telling you right now, he has forgiven you. Stop blaming yourself. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. And I know maybe you are told because of the kind of life that you're living, that's why these things happen to you. That's why you're receiving this punishment. No, it's not supposed to be the case. It's not. Just because, there's this trend that was going in Kenya where we were saying my dress, my choice. But anyway, it was coming out of bitterness. But anyway, I'm saying this maybe because of where you are dressed on that day. That's why the person told you, because you are dressed like this, that's why I had to do this to you. No, that is wrong. You're not supposed to. That is not supposed to happen. Stop blaming yourself. It's not because of the dress that you wore that day. It's not because you went through that path. No. It's not because God said no then you continue. No, 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 no. Stop blaming yourself. If you have never had someone telling you, if you have ever, these have ever happened to you, sexually violated, you are young, you are older, because it happens. I don't know if you have had cases of happening to 80-year-old, 70-year-old, 60-year-old. So it doesn't forgive anyone at whatever age, but whichever age it has happened to you, stop blaming yourself. Forgive yourself. Yes, it happened, but you can forgive yourself. Forgive them and let it go. I know God is able to help us. God is able to heal you. He healed me. I know at times when I share it, I'm like, some tears are falling. It's because I know I was in this space. I was carrying this anger, this bitterness, this wrath. I wanted to do something, and whatever I was planning to do, oh my God. You could be bringing me tissue and soap. If you know, you know. But anyway, right now I'm at a better place. I don't know if I can look at the guy. I've never met him in like 8 years. Yes, for 8 years I've never met him. So I don't know how I can face him right now. But I know God is going to help me. For the teacher, one of the two of them, I want to face them and tell them. I don't know if one is already dead or alive, but anyway, wherever he is. But the other one, I know he's still alive, and I know, please keep me accountable if I ever met him and I told him this is wrong and this should happen to you. Anyway, what else have I not shared? I think I have shared all as God has allowed me. Yes, have yourself a good day. This is Journey with God on Very Sensitive. Yes, being sexually violated or assaulted. And I pray that you will find true healing. And please comment, or no, go to my DM. Go to my DM, either DM me on IG, Facebook, TikTok, Wagio Njoroge. Across all my social media pages is Wagio Njoroge. You will not find any other Wagio Njoroge. I hope so. I don't think you're going to find any other Wagio Njoroge. DM me your story if you want to find healing. We'll pray together. And I know God is going to bring the healing that you desire. And He's going to help you. And yes, most probably have people that you can work with, whether you are a man or a woman. Have yourself a good day and be blessed. Share, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And I know you'll be blessed.